Okay, welcome back Twitch and YouTube. So we're going to pick up where we left off last time in the Long Dark on Interloper. This is potentially going to be the last session for quite a while. I'm going to let the YouTube catch up with where we are before doing much more recording. I believe right now YouTube is a little over 2 weeks ahead. I'm going to at least wait for at least 1 week before I start recording any more Long Dark. So this will be the last episode of Long Dark. Mainly with this episode, we got a bunch of stuff we want to repair from our exploration. I'm down to 2 bandages. I'd much prefer 4. A bunch of our clothes has been worn by these forays. These forays with wolves. So we want to repair our gloves, our socks, shirt. Yeah, those 4 items I think are what we're looking at. We can find the leather. Find the leather. Might actually have the leather. I have the leather, yeah. Repair the hat. So we got a bunch of things to repair. So this is mainly going to be preparation for future exploration episode, where we're basically doing a bunch of repairing, and then the next episode will be back to exploration. So because I'm going to put a big gap in here, hopefully by the time you're watching this, I will have started the next recording. So there should be a recording up tomorrow if you're watching this on YouTube. But it's still a great idea, much like the previous episodes. If you have a suggestion on what you want me to explore first, feel free to put it in the comments. I'm going to let YouTube catch up quite a bit more before I do an exploration, so it shouldn't be that much delayed. And at this point, we've just finished Desolation Point. So if I don't get any comments on YouTube, the next thing I'll probably do exploration-wise is map Crumbling Highway, which is the transition zone between Desolation Point and Coastal Highway, which is one of sort of the home regions for this character. And where we're actually currently going in this current walk to do our repairs. I'm not in a particular rush because the home regions for this character are Mystery Lake and Coastal Highway to map those 2 zones. But if you want those zones mapped and you want to see all the nooks and crannies on those zones, feel free to let me know in the comments. But yeah, if I don't get a comment on what to explore next, it'll probably be Crumbling Highway that gets next. But if you're listening to this, while I may have mapped Crumbling Highway by the time you have time to comment, if you put your comments in, there's a decent possibility that whatever you comment on or comment for will be the next thing after Crumbling Highway that gets mapped. Unless someone's put a comment on an earlier video that I've only just read. And by only just read, I mean future me has only just read. So our character does have some needs that I need to sort out soon. I need to get him more food, and basically everything we want are basically going to be Misanthrope Island, the Fishing Hut, and Jackrabbit Island. So really, as long as I look out for bears and wolves, we should be perfectly safe to do that. Just a matter of walking there. This is another scenario where I think the episode is going to be a bit on, well, it may actually be a bit on the long side, because I basically have an hour to record, which isn't enough time to do 2 recordings, so it'll be 1 recording. But I might go a little bit long to accommodate the fact that there'll only be 1 recording. So if you're watching it on Twitch, and you're watching it in the VOD, I suppose you will be able to see how long the VOD is at that point. I don't think anyone's watching live right this moment. We've just started recording. And at the moment I haven't started scheduling the Twitch streams, so I'm sort of relying on people noticing that I have gone live and having the spare time to jump on, rather than people knowing ahead of time that I'll be up. And sadly that's mainly due to the fact that my schedule is still a bit unreliable. And yeah, I have searched here before, so I just popped in to see if there's anything I had left behind. There's one thing I will leave behind, as I just remembered we finished reading this book, so I don't need this book. After you read books, well, even before you read books, but after you read them, you can burn them and use them as fuel. I generally don't need to burn books, and I like books enough that I, as a side effect, don't burn them if I don't need to. And books, much like other consumables, I tend to leave around as trophies of past progress and successes. So at this point, we basically finished pathing through Coastal Highway. This is a zone that I will need to map. As far as hazards here, we have thin ice, which you can fall through if you're not too careful. And I believe there's usually 1 to 2 wolves. On Stalker, there's always 2. Right, on Interloper, sometimes there's only 1. And if you were wearing headphones at the moment, or right now, you may hear those wolves in the distance. But at this point, we're safely past where they're going to be, then I don't need to worry about them. I may need to worry about my calories. The calories are going down a little bit faster than I would have liked. Probably because we're over-encumbered. But I do have some food items, so I can eat some food if I need to. So we don't lose well-fed on the walk over to the food. Memory serves, there is a fish at the fishing spot, so it's just a process of getting out there without running out of calories.
Cold. Just want to lay down for a bit.
And I'm going to do a bunch of repairing, so I'm not worried right now about taking cold damage. Because I'm going to repair like 4 or 5 different things, and then we're going to take a nice long rest, and after that we'll have recovered most of our condition loss from cold. I believe that is a wolf out there. So this, closer to me, is a deer, but way out there I think that's a wolf. Because all the objectives I'm going for right now are along the coast, I'm going to do a bit of beach combing. See if we can find anything useful as we go along the beach here. Well, I say beach, so we go along the ice next to the water. I'm not sure I can
carry much more.
Our character's complaining about his carrying capacity. We are a little over the default carrying capacity, so we're walking a bit slower, consuming a bit more calories than we would otherwise. But the solution right now to that is I'm carrying a jerry can. I will be planning to leave the jerry can at the fishing spot when we get to the fishing spot. So I'm not worried about being a little over right now.
All I can think about is food.
So it is crow weather. When the crows fly over like that, all that's telling you is that the crows are able to be out. Which means if there's a carcass nearby, it would tell you where the carcass is. It looks like I didn't get any luck with beach coming along the stretch of beach. Oh, there's something. Is it something useful? suspect the answer is no.
Never would have thought to look here.
Yeah, that's... Well, I can disassemble it for a little bit of cloth, so it's not the end of the world. One uncooked fish. Keeping my head a little bit on the swivel here, because I do have a fish in my inventory. Could attract wolves from a decent click away. Oh, I eat the cattails, and the beachcomb decides to reward me with another cattails. Replace the one I just consumed. Lumberwood. Random floating fish. Wow, I say random. Beachcombing spawned random floating fish. So it's a little bit less random, but not necessarily what you would expect to find. Quickly get our character all set up. At which point, with the calories back on our character's stomach, I'll be a little bit more freed up to sprint around and get to places quicker to minimize future condition damage loss. We are going to stay roughly in this area for a while.
I need to drop something.
Yeah, you're dropping the jerry can. So I'm going to go ahead and loot misanthropes first for cloth. I don't remember if I left any rabbit pelt in there. If I have left rabbit pelt in there, I will have everything I need to do repairs. And if I haven't, then I'll have to go to jackrabbits for a rabbit. I know I have some rabbit in jackrabbits. Yeah, so immediate presumption looks to be no rabbit here. No rabbit pelt. With that, I should have enough to do most of my basic repairs. So we'll get started on those repairs while I have the sunlight to do them. That's the hat repaired. I'm worried about losing the socks, so we'll do the socks next. I think I may have waited a little bit long to repair these socks, because we only get 55% back on a repair. Okay, so I think the only thing left that I want to repair is these rabbit skin gloves, rabbit skin mitts. Which is probably to repair them I need exactly 1 rabbit skin and 1 gut, unless I fail on the repair roll. So over to Jackrabbit we go. Oh yeah, we definitely see the effects of having nice warm clothes, because this blizzard is cold. It's very cold. It's very windy, very cold, and when we're in the wind shelter, we're actually down to 2 echelons, so we probably would already be taking damage if we didn't have all this nice warm clothes. By eating up a little bit of food and drinking some water. And off we go sprinting again. Oh, I did leave one thing off I could have done, maybe outlast the blizzard, which is I do want to make another pair of bandages. And I probably did have the stuff on hand to make a pair of bandages. Corpse.
Never felt so cold in my life.
Pallet isn't worth it. A bunch of quality tools. Quality tools are a very interesting find. Did not expect to find them in a beachcombing on Interloper. So when it comes to tools, you can repair normal tools with quality tools. And quality tools makes a variety of tasks faster. Basically makes any task that you can do with normal tools faster. So you can do arrows with normal tools, you can use quality tools to make that faster. Obviously I don't necessarily need it right this moment, but that will be good for the future. You know, cured rabbit pelts are pretty common, pretty easy to come by, so I'm going to just fully repair this, even though it's not necessarily optimal from the standpoint of input. Okay, so we have nicely fully repaired gloves, hat, and most of our other stuff is 70% or above. Most items, when you go to repair them, will repair at least 30% in one go. So some of these items, for example, while they're not necessarily best to have them this low, if I wait longer, I'll be a little more efficient with material usage. Oh, before I forget, remember to make the bandages. There we go. So now we should be prepared to do whatever we need to do. Well, we should be prepared to run into a wolf again. If you'd seen the earlier wolf maulings I got into, each time I think I got a chest wound, and chest wound does a double bleed. So each struggle required me to use up the bandages. Character's not going to quite sleep for 10 hours, but we'll sleep for as much as we can. Is about where nighttime is starting to reach its coldest. So this is maybe not the best time to be traveling around at night. But pretty much did everything I wanted to do out here on the coast. So we're gonna get a move on. In preparation for future exploration. So we can already immediately see how cold it is at this night rate. So it's basically just about as cold as that blizzard was. Torches. Oh, well, actually, one of those wasn't ruined. Oh, interesting. I might actually end up making this a short episode, because I got everything I wanted done far quicker than I had planned it. We're going to go ahead and take the character back to Quonset. I'm going to feed him up here on the coast, and we're going to head back to Quonset. Yeah, I don't need stretch guns. I'm just going to track the wolves and I'm going to run to the walls.
I need to find some place to escape this cold.
So yeah, if you're watching this YouTube or watching this on Twitch, feel free to drop a comment on where you'd like to see me map next. The only zone we've finished mapping at this point is Desolation Point. If you don't get any comments, the next video will probably be starting to map Crumbling Highway, sort of working down from Desolation Point. Yeah, and assuming everything continues to go according to plan, I'll try to have a video up that is Long Dark related every day on YouTube at 6 p.m. Probably the next couple of recordings on Twitch are going to be me recording Path of Exile content. I believe where we left off, well, where I left off in the recording is Act 4 in Path of Exile, which, if memory serves for me uploading the recordings to YouTube, is probably what just went live on YouTube this noon. That's one of the reasons why we're going to take a short break from Path of Exile. As far as streaming is concerned, to go back to, or from streaming Long Dark, go back to streaming Path of Exile. So I still have some content going up in the noon slot. Well, that is the magic of wearing a bear coat. So the wolf noticed me first. However, as far as it noticing me, it noticed my bear coat. Random Sasquatch walking through the forest. The wolves don't like that, apparently. Doesn't last forever, so the wolf has re-aggroed. The wolf is between us and where we want to go, so I will need to light a ignition source to safely traverse. This was plausible to expect getting close to Quonset. Quonset tends to have a lot of wolves near it. grab the character a quick snack. We duck into the Quonset itself. From our moose supply here. I might do a quick inventory check before I log off for the day. So we have the flare we used up before. One compound plants, which we're not necessarily interested in. Not one wolf pelt. We do have some books we could read. We could take along with us to read. Okay, so it was a good thing I went and made those bandages and picked up the old man beard lichen. Because I got no bandages here, and I have no antiseptic here. So I would have had to head all the way out to Mountain Gun, I think. Or not Mountain, Mystery Lake. Camp office of Mystery Lake to reacquire my antiseptic. If I hadn't gone ahead and made a couple pairs of old man's beard wound dressing. And in fact, actually looking at it, I should probably gather more. Should gather more. Well, looking at the time, and looking at what I've got to do, it's the middle of the night, so I can't do any crafting. What I'd probably be crafting is arrows. Could craft more arrows. But I think I'm going to hold off on that for this recording. Maybe in the next recording. Okay, sorry Twitch, this is probably going to be a shorter recording. We'll try to record tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, timing permit. But the next long recording session will probably be this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. So if you're looking for a bit of a longer recording session, feel free to join in then. If you're watching on YouTube, as I've brought up multiple times, should be another video up Long Dark tomorrow. If there's anything you want to see me map earlier in the mapping sequence as we go through all of Little Bear Island, feel free to leave it as a comment. And if there's anything else you want to watch, I am trying to put up 2 videos a day, usually of different games. So this is going to still continue to be the game at 6 p.m. And I'll have a different game at noon. And with that, I'll let you guys go. Hope you have a good time until the next session. Bye for now.